Anyway, okay, all right. Go live. Hey team, how are we doing? All right, guys, what do we want to work on today? Merit E question, quadratics. All right, I think I'm just looking through quadratic functions. Really? All right. Give us a second, because it's like, eesh. Finn, I'm just having a look at your question. I probably need a little bit more time to kind of work this through. Yeah, I've just hay fever. It's been awful. Quadratic function E questions. I need a bit more time, Flynn, because I remember doing that type of question before, but I literally just checked my email, and what I will do is, while I give you folks a question, I might actually work on it in the background, and then like we'll go through it. Yeah. All right. So let me just have a look. What was a quadratic question? Did you guys get it in 2024 or no? You didn't get any in 2024. Oh, you got a ship question in 2023. You mean something like this? 2022 or 23? So are we talking about something like, is that calculus or algebra? Yeah, it's algebra. Where is the question? You mean something like this? Finn, if you do have it, just send it on that same email thread, man, and I'll have a quick look at it. So the ones where you got to find out the equation and then come up with the... Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll see how good ChatGPT can come up with a similar question like this. Surface AB, point C. Okay, let's just try it. See you, beam. Oh wow, there's a lot of folks jumping in today. All right, so just give me a second. We're diving straight in today to the deep end. So we are going to be doing 29, and I'll just copy the question over, and then we can give it a go. Now, those parabola questions, look, once you get the vertex formula, you're pretty much good to go. So they just make it tricky, that's all, like in terms of how they word the question. But if they give you a diagram, then it's all right. Did you guys want to, like, I'm going to give that exact question. That's definitely an E question, yeah. They're always E questions. Okay, let's keep the theme of parabolas, right? So we will do parabola questions. But while that question is loading up, let's kind of do a couple of quick merit questions. And then from there, we'll actually start, I'll start looking at some old exam questions and then crossing it over and pull them out, all right? So just to kind of give you a quick refresher, what is it? Just a quick crash course for parabola. Remember that parabola, you've got vertex form, which is, if that's the vertex, where you could write this as ax minus h squared plus v. You also have the intercept form, which is those two things there. So that's, let's say, x1 and x2. Your formula is going to be x minus x1, x minus x2. And then you just got the standard random formula, right? Like, which is your ax squared plus bx plus c. So yeah, that's just something there at the top, just literally a 5-second revision of that. So we're going to start with question 1, and we will do this right here. So we're going to have, I don't know, I'm just thinking of like a classic rugby game. So we've got the posts there. All right, and we've got a person that's kicking the ball from the ground level. That does not look like a rugby ball. Let's make it like this. All right, and then we're going to have a path something like this. All right, just to give you an idea. So I'm going to say that the distance from here to the rugby posts is about, let's go, I don't know, 35 meters. All right, and then we also can say the maximum height is reached after, I don't know, 20 meters maybe. So this is going to be 20 meters. And then the height is, how high can the ball game go? Should we go 30 meters? Yeah, let's go 30 meter height. And then what we want to know is, will it clear the posts if the post is about 4 meters high? Okay, I've literally just drawn up a rough diagram here, but what I would like you to do is come up with the equation and then find out whether this ball is actually going to clear the goalpost. That's the idea. Jax, yeah, you could use ax squared plus c formula as well. The ax squared plus c formula is when the parabola looks like this. So just to give you an idea, if your parabola looks like this, then that becomes your c value. Then you could use ax squared plus c. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Finn, when I was looking at that quadratic formula, doing that by times by 2. Okay, yeah, we'll do that question next as well. All right? Because I know you asked. So if you're unsure of how to start this question, what the first step you need to do is you need to actually go put the x-axis and the y-axis. Now, whoever that is that asked me, Jax, I think it was, if you want to use ax squared plus c, then like I'll show you guys the different formats you could use, right? If you use the green one, then you probably want to have your axes like this. So that's your x and y axes. If you use the blue one, then you could potentially have your axes like this. So it really depends on like where you want to start your graphs and how you want to go about it. Have I given you all the information that you need? I'm just trying to look at it. you say 30 or 20? 20 squared. Okay, you did it that way. All right. Bite-sized. These are just quadratic equations, just written in different ways. That's all. You can use any one of them, and like people will have written it in different ways in your schools. Like for example, like the blue one, I use H and V, but in your you will find that formula in the calculator as well. Evian, I think, yeah, you'll be all right if you just keep practicing those past exam papers as well as the ones you get at school. You should be good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna start doing this question. Basically, I'm gonna use the green, not the green, the blue version. Am I gonna get it right? Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is with the blue lines, I'm gonna put this as x-axis here and this here as y-axis. From there, what I can say is the vertex, that's the vertex, which is 20, 30. So what I can do is I could write this as y equals to a x. I have a feeling I stuffed up this question somewhere. I don't know why I get this feeling, but anyway, we got x minus 20 squared plus 30. Now from here, what I've got is that's the basic formula. Now what I need to do is I need to figure out what the a value is. To figure out the a value, I need one other point. The other point I could use is where the rugby ball is right here at the start, because this point is 0, 0. And because it's 0 and 0, what I can do is I can put y is equal to 0, a is equal to 0 minus 20 squared plus 30. So when we do this, I just realized, hang on, give me 1 second. I don't like... No, it doesn't want to do that. That's fine. So I've got 0 is equal to a, negative 20 squared is 400 plus 30. So a is equal to minus 30. That's multiplied by 400. So a is equal to minus 30 over 400. Now, once I have that, the equation is y is equal to negative 30 over 400 x minus what else? X minus 20 squared plus 30. Now the goalpost is actually 35 meters away from the ball, like from the guy where he's kicking it, right? So that means x is equal to 35, and we've got to figure out what is y. So then what we're going to do is we're going to put down y, whatever that is, negative 30 over 400. And then you got 35 minus 20 squared plus 30. So chuck that in the calculator and see if that's going to be less than 4 or more than 4. So we've got negative 30 over 400 multiplied by 15 squared plus 30. I think it's well over by the looks of it. Yeah, so it's about 13. So y is equal to 13.125 meters. So that means this ball is actually going to clear it at about 13.125. All right, what I'll do is, I know we've got people who have questions, so just give me a second. I'll put up all of this, and then you can ask me which line where I'm going from. Max, just watch the algebra playlist, 15-hour playlist, and then the exam papers. You should be good to go. Level 2, by the way. Sorry, I'm just moving my questions so I can kind of look at it better. All right, let's see. Can you use stat mode? Bunny dog, yes, you can do stat mode, but to do stat mode, you need a third point, and the third point that you need to use is 40, 0. Because think about it like this: if the parabola was to keep going, you're gonna have like the rule of symmetry, right? Because when you have a parabola like this, where this is 0, 0, and then this one is 20, 35, then this one here is going to be 40, 0. So yes, you could use a stat mode to come up with the equation for it as well. Now the 4 meters was the height of the goalpost. A is a negative value because it's negative 30 over 400. If you use ax squared plus c, you should still get the same value for a, Ati. Your a value should be, no matter which formula you guys use, the a value should be negative 3 over 40. Yeah, Jax, sorry. This was like, I'm trying to look at the goalpost in a sideways angle, right? So if you look at it, it's like the goalpost from a sideways angle, it's going to look like this. But you know how this is the bar that it needs to clear? So really you want the, like, I'm trying to figure out if it's going to actually clear the bar to count as a goal. I get CS negative 30. Can't we use 435 to substitute for A? No, because 435 is the height of the rugby post. We're trying to figure out if the ball is actually going to go over that bar. That's 4 meters there. So that's not a point. We're trying to figure out if the ball is actually going to go above the 4 meters. Is y 35 or 30? Y is 30. Okay, if you were going to do ax squared plus c, right? Like, look, I'll show you the same question. If you're going to use ax squared plus c, then your ball is doing something like this. Your goalpost is somewhere here. All right. And this is the bar that it needs to clear the goalpost. So if you're going to do that, this point here will be negative 20, 0. This point here is 30. So you're going to get y equals to ax squared plus 30. Then you use the point negative 20, 0. You're going to get 0 equals negative 20 squared plus 30. Rearranging it, you're going to get a 400 minus 30. A is equal to minus 30 over 400. So you're still going to end up with the same a value. However, for the x value in this case, this point is at 15 because from here to here is 35. And this height here is 4 meters, and we're trying to figure out how high it is. So all we're going to do is y is equal to minus 30 over 400, x squared, which is 15 squared, plus 30. And what you'll find is you'll end up with the same answer, which is 13.125. Doc, yeah, you're right, correct. Nikki, it doesn't matter because if the parabola, depending on the points you use, the a value will automatically adjust to it. Randoms, 35.4 is not a point on the graph. That's the important part here. I think you guys are all thinking 35.4 is actually a point on the graph. That is the height of the rugby post, right? Like, so imagine the rugby post is like this. So that part there is 4 to the bottom of the post. So when the ball is actually going, if you're using the 35.4, then the ball is actually hitting the post, like where the rugby, like, you know, where that bar is. But we don't know if it's actually going to hit that bar or not. So you cannot use 35.4. So instead, you just use the x value, find what the y distance is, because it comes out to be 13. That means it's actually clearing the post. Yeah, there's my rugby post right there. Correct, Nikki. The A value will automatically adjust to whatever it needs to be adjusted to based on how you enter the points. I think we'll do another question like this with the parabola. I think this parabola questions are quite useful for level 1s as well. Exan, I can't really answer that because it's like... All right, so one more parabola question. I'm just trying to think of another one. Okay, let's try this one here. What is... I'm just trying to make this question a little bit harder, that's all. If it needs to hit at 4. Okay. Shall I throw you a curveball here with this question, or do you want to try another question like this kind of level first, just so you get the hang of it? What do you... Curveball? Okay, we're going to do a curveball question. Curveball question is this. We're still going to do the same question here. All right? But what I want to do now is I want to be able to do... No, that's not going to work. Hang on. That's not going to work. Actually, it might work. Okay. Let's do a follow-up question for this. And just because we're actually kind of doing the same idea here, and because you keep using this 35.4, what if we do this? What if this person has the same rugby, the rugby post is there. We've got the person kicking the ball. And what's happening is... No, hang on. I need to get the right value here. I don't want to throw you guys completely off. If this hits at 4... Give me 1 second. 35.4... Nah, it's not going to work. I'll need to rethink this question because I think I might have just botched it. But that's fine. I'll get you a different one, and then I'll think about that curveball question. What do we do this time? This time we're going to have... let me just go back to the parabola question and grab this one. All right, let's just see if I can pull up a question. This question user was just a random starter question. All right, here we go. Shift S. Thought I had it. Yep. Let's try this one here. Oh, wonderful. Thanks, Walsh family, for creating absolute chaos in the chat. J-Blade, do you guys want the diagram, or do you guys want to actually try and do the diagram? Okay, why don't you guys try the diagram? I'll give you a couple of minutes and then I'll try and do a diagram. Calculus, I think it's just straightforward, right? So, yes, Jim Yang, if you do forget the vertex formula, in your calculator, you can actually find it, because what you can do is go into menu, go into the conic section here, and if you go to the conic section, and you will see the parabola's vertex form right there. If you forget it, you can always use that. Now you guys try the diagram. I'll draw the diagram at 8:29. Look, if you're feeling a little bit worried about algebra, the live tutorials that I've done, because if you don't have enough time to go and do all the exam papers, the live tutorials is not a bad starting point, because it just helps you go through some of the basic questions. Like always the start of those every year, it's like I do some easy stuff just to kind of get the hang of it, and then we kind of go a bit crazy. Doc, you could, absolutely can. You can use both equations. All right, here's the diagram just in case. Parabolic tunnel, so that's going to be looking something like this. Tunnel is 8 meters wide at the base, so that's 8 meters wide. And tunnel is 5 meters high at its center, so that's 5 meters high. Tunnel can be modeled by a quadratic curve with the vertex at blah blah blah. Truck is 3 meters. 3 meters wide and 4.2 high. Will it be able to pass through the tunnel safely? So basically what we're asking is, that's the truck right there. Is that going to go through? I reckon that's a really quick question, guys. Just try and do it. And then I'll add a follow-up question. Gamer dude, you didn't have to, but yeah, it's appreciated, but you didn't have to. Yeah, so I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. Just need some more tissues and some hot water. I'll be back. Yeah, we did a similar one, this Kesson. But that's the one that ChatGPT decided to do it again. All right, I'm going to go through this really quickly, and then we're going to do a follow-up question for this. All right, so just bear with me. So for this case, I am going to I'm going to use the ax squared plus bx formula, right? So we're just going to put y is equal to ax squared plus c, so I'm going to get ax squared plus 5. The point I'm going to use is here, which is 4, 0. If I use 4, 0, I'm going to get 4 squared plus 5, then negative 5 equals a times 16. A is equal to negative 5 over 16. So all I'm doing is I'm putting y is equal to negative 5 over 16, and then x squared plus 5. Now x is equal to 1.5, because remember, it's only half the truck we want to be looking at. And we'll figure out what this is. So yeah, pretty quick this question, but I want to do a follow-up question, so just bear with me. We got negative 5 over 16 multiplied by 1.5 multiplied by 1.5 plus 5. All right, so we're going to get 4.29. So yes, truck can go through. Okay, now here's a follow-up question. If a trailer has a height of 4 meters, how wide can the trailer be? And this is a question that they do ask at level 2. So this time, the follow-up question for this is this. What color? Let's go light blue. So basically, we got a trailer that's 4 meters high. And the question is, how wide can the trailer be? The reason why I did half there is because, remember, the truck is actually 3 long. So if it's 3 long, then it's 1.5 here and then negative 1.5 there. That's why I only did positive 1.5. By the way, sorry, I kind of just skipped through that real quickly. So if you have any questions with part A so far, let me know. Part B, I'm just throwing a question out there that if a trailer has a height of 4 meters, how wide should it be? Nikki, I don't think it matters which formula you use, as long as if you use the other formula, like these parabola questions, I usually use the ax squared plus c, because I don't have to worry about that middle term. So it just makes it easier for me to calculate it. But also, if you use the other formula, your x value is, you've got to kind of have a different x value. You wouldn't have 1.5, you'd have something else. Okay, since you guys want me to do the other formula, looks like I need to use the other formula now. Okay, if you were doing the other formula, it looked like this, where this is going to be 4, 5, because we decided that y is going to be there, x is going to be there, a truck is something like that. So what's going to happen with this is you're going to get y is equal to a x minus 4 squared plus 5. Now because I found a, I'm just going to be a bit lazy and put that as 5 over 16 x minus 4 squared plus 5. However, the x value, you've got to be careful with the x value here, because if this distance is 8, then the x value you could use, because the x value here is 4, so you could use 5.5 or 2.5 for those x values. You either use 5.5 or 2.5. So you cannot use x equals to 1.5. I hope that makes, when you do it. So that's why you've got to be like strategic about which formula to use for which question. Like the rugby question, it's actually better to use the vertex formula. But this tunnel question, it's actually better to use ax squared plus b formula. Okay, cool. Now let's go to the next part of this question. I said this part here. So right now you still have this equation. All you have to do is this. Your equation is negative 5 over 16 x squared plus 5. The question is asking, if y is equal to 4, what is x going to be? And then you can figure out what the width is. Yeah, it's hay fever season, Oscar. Doc, the reason it's 4-0 is because, remember, this distance here is actually 8. If this is 8, half of it will be 4. And because this is at the ground level, that's why I have it at 4-0. Welcome, Abdi. Welcome. Sorry, TikTok, just on 2 chats at the moment, and the other one is just rolling a lot. Casson, this is not like graph. It is the graph internal. Yeah, it'll get saved, Oliver, so you can watch it again. You double it if you use ax squared plus c, right? Yes, that's correct, Ati. Part B is definitely excellence. So what I'm going to do is for part B, I'll show you guys. It's not really that. I mean, you don't even need to use a graphics calculator. You can just use the... In this one, you can actually just substitute it straight away, because you'd get 4 equals negative 5 over 16 x squared plus 5. Rearrange it. So you got 4, take away 5 equals negative 5 over 16x squared. You got negative 1 equals negative 5 over 16x squared. And then cross multiply. You're going to get negative 16 equals negative 5x squared. And then x squared is negative 16 over negative 5. Which gives me x squared is equal to, calculator, negative 16 over negative 5. I'm just going to go 16 divided by 5. Forget about the negative. So that's 3.2. Then x is equal to square root of 3.2. X is equal to, what are we going to get? So x is equal to 1.78. But remember that you have, that's only half the measurement. So we need to double it to get the full width. So I'm just going to multiply that by 2. And I end up with 3.57 as the width. Ten, 11, 12, 13. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know, and then I'll go, we'll try and answer those questions. So is vertex always y-intercept like x and 0? Okay, Kaliko, depends on the question. That would only happen if the parabola is upside down. If the parabola is like the smiley face, it might be a different point. Doc, remember the reason why we're doubling it is the reason because we remember with the truck, we actually halved it. When we had 3, we went to 1.5. So that's pretty much how we do for this one. So we actually have to go the opposite way. Muffin, these are quadratics. Addy, I think as I was mentioning before, it really depends on the type of questions. Like you choose which one actually works for you. That's correct, Bio. So 1.78 is half the width. What is meow on about? All right, look, one more excellence question because Finn actually sent me this and I did say I was going to do it. So I am going to just get this question and then we can try this question, all right? Find values. All right, this will probably be the last question for tonight because this is another excellence question. Now, hopefully, you can actually read the question there. User, we just doubled it because when you find the x value, you're only finding one half of it. So remember, but because this parabola is symmetrical, when you put 4, you just to give you an idea, look at this. So the graph looks like this. This is our truck looked something like this. That was how it looked like. So where this was 4. So when you found this to be 1.7, we just need to double it. So we get the full length of the truck. 91261, I think it is, for the assessment code. Guys, this question here is actually not if you use ax plus h squared Devor, if you actually use the vertex formula, you will need to you would need to find the difference between the, so if you had done the vertex formula, this is what would have happened for you. So your graph would have looked like this, your truck would look like this, and you know how the mid of that, what was the middle of that? I'm trying to think. 4. So you probably would have got your answer as 5.7. So then what you need to do, 5.7 minus 4 to get the 1.7, and then mirror that, you get 1.7, and then that's how you end up with 3.4. Probability is only 10 hours, CRX. Now this is not this is actually not that bad, guys. Look, have a look at the question. The question says is this: one root of the equation is 4 times the other. Now what do they mean by that? Now imagine like this: if you have x minus 1, x minus 4, right? So when you put this equal to 0, your roots are x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 4. So basically your solution is actually, one of the solutions is 4 times the other. Now, if I use the quadratic formula for this, I would get minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now, this formula here is going to give me 2 answers. It's going to give me 2 answers. But what I want is one of the answers has to be 4 times the other answer. All right. So if you look at it like this, you know how there's 2 answers in this? Because one of them would be plus. So this is one of the solutions. The other solution is going to be the minus version of it. So one of the solutions is plus, and then x2 is going to be minus. I think this is the trickiest part of this question. Now it says one root is 4 times the other. So x1 is 4 times x2. Now it doesn't matter which way you do it. You could actually do x2 is 4 times x1 as well in this case. So because it's 4 times that, what we're going to do is let's actually get all the ABCs. So I've got 3x squared equals px minus 2, which means I'll get 3x squared minus px plus 2 equals to 0. So my a value is 3, my b value is minus p, and the c value is 2. Yeah, I think that's what we're trying to do. So now all you have to do is you just go x1 equals to 4 times x2. x1 is minus b, so that's going to be minus negative p plus square root of negative p squared minus 4 times 3 times c divided by 2 times 3 equals 4 multiplied by, just because I'm so lazy, copy and paste. Except this one is going to be minus like that. So that's pretty much the setup of this question. I'm going to leave that question there like this for you. What you need to do is kind of expand the brackets and see if you can try and get to the answer. It's a horrible question, but it's a beautiful question. This is definitely an excellence question. And I think set up correct equation, quadratic formula. I think even if you get up to this part here, you'd probably, like, yeah, I think looking at the schedule, up to here is achieved. No, the discriminant is, hex, you can't use discriminant in this case because discriminant tells you whether it has one solution, no solution, or two solutions. In this case, they tell you it's two solutions, but the problem is they're also telling you that one of the solutions is 4 times the other. Now, if you use the discriminant formula, you'll find a p-value that'll give you two solutions, but those two solutions might not be 4 times one of the other solution. Two root 6 over 3. I got p squared as 75 over 2, Jeffrey. That's what we have. Rono, I think you can, but I always get stuck with that sum of roots and product of roots thing. I don't know why. I always stuff up there. Okay, what I'll do is I'm going to put a bunch of line numbers here, and then if you have any questions with this so far, let me know and I'll actually talk you through it. Kaliko, it doesn't matter because whatever, and that's what I meant by in line 6. You could do x1 equals 4 times x2, or you could do 4 times x1 equals x2 as well. Because, like, you know how this one here, I could say this is x1 or x2, but if I write the same question like this, then I'll get x1 is equal to 4, x2 equals to 1. So as you can see, it doesn't matter because it's the order doesn't actually matter. So you could actually just go 4 times either way. So hopefully that answered your question, Kaliko. 6.124, yes, Rono, but it's got to be plus or minus. No, Kaliko, because remember, the plus or minus part gives you two answers. That's one of the reasons, like, see, the plus or minus part, you're right, it gives you two answers. So that's why x1 I've chosen it as plus, x2 I've chosen as minus. And again, you could do either one of them. You could actually have this one as minus and this one as plus because those are two solutions. Jim, yeah, they do give graphics calculator. This part here, sorry, this is whatever is in the yellow box is just to give you an idea of the solution. That's not part of the question. That's just an example to try and make the connection of the how you get the 4 times one of the solution. Exan, I think it's really dependent on the question. So you've got to, I mean, majority of the questions you can use quadratic formula, but in this one, someone actually mentioned, can we use sums and products? And I know you can, but I'll be honest, I always forget that thing. It's like 2a, b, and b. I always stuff it up. So there is a shorter way to do this as well. And I think whoever said that sums and products, Rono, I don't know if you've got the working for it, but and if you can't type it, that'd be amazing. Definitely an excellence question. All right, I'm going to carry on because I want to show you guys how to actually get the answer from here. While it looks horrible, the reality is it's actually not too bad once you kind of go through the algebra part. All right, so what we're going to do is from here, we've just got to kind of expand it. So we've got p plus. Inside here, we've got p squared minus 24 over 6 equals 4 times. This one, I'm going to put this in the bracket here. So I've got p minus square root of p squared minus 24. And all of that is over 6. Now, because everything is over 6, I can forget about, what we got here? Oh, yeah, thanks, Finn. I will actually show the alternative method as well. I always forget that part. So I can get rid of the 6 here, and I can just rewrite this as just p square root of p squared minus 24 equals 4 times p square root of p squared minus 24. So then all I got to do is just expand the brackets. So this is p squared minus 24 equals 4p minus 4 p squared minus 24. And from here, I bring in, what do we got? 4p. I feel like I've stuffed up something here. Nah, it's good so far. So I'm going to swap the p's around. So this will become 4p minus p. And on this side, I've got square root of p squared minus 24 plus 4 p squared minus 24. So still going. I've got 5 p squared minus 24 equals 3p. Now I'm kind of questioning this because I think this is borderline. I feel like it's borderline level 3. Do you guys, do we do this in level? I think we do, right? We kind of do this idea. Actually, no, you can do this because this will just become p squared minus 24 equals 3p over 5. Now you would have, because it's just getting rid of the square root symbol is just squaring both sides. We did this right at the beginning of algebra. When you square, you get rid of square root symbols. So this would become p squared minus 24 equals 9p squared over 25. Sorry, I got to keep. So then I've got p squared minus 9p squared over 25 equals to 24. I'm actually going to do this in the calculator because I can just go 1. So that's the 1p squared minus 9 over 25. That's going to give me 16 over 25. P squared equals to 24. So p squared equals 24 times 25 over 16. I end up with p squared is equal to 24 times 25 over 16. 75 over 2. So p is equal to square root of 75 over 2. Now, because we take square root of a number, you will have to actually do plus or minus for this question. So if we do that, we're going to get p is plus or minus 6.123. Yeah. Why did I flip it? Sorry, I'll put some line numbers as usual, and then you guys can ask questions, all right? I know that was a lot of steps to take in. So why did I flip the 16 over 25? Because when I because remember, 16 over 25 is actually getting multiplied. So 25 will come to the numerator, 16 will go to the denominator on the other side. Where did the 1 come? Bite-sized, I need the line number for you to tell me where that 1 came from. The reason I did squared in line 17 is because when I square both sides, I actually get rid of the square root symbol. So to get rid of the square root symbol, I need to actually square the whole thing. In the calculator, the reason I did 1 was because of this bite size. In line 19, remember, p squared is, coefficient of p squared is 1. So I just went 1 minus 9 over 25 to get the 16 over 25. Doc, it's just practice, right? As you practice this, you will actually get better with it. That's all. Sorry, I'm just 19 to 20. Yeah, the 19 to 20, I think, as bite size was asking me, because I wanted to simplify this, I know that p squared has a coefficient of 1. So that's why in the calculator, I did 1 minus 9 over 25 to get 16 over 25. Because, okay, look, I just skipped a step because, like, if you think about it like this, if I do p squared minus 9p squared over 25, this is the same thing as saying 25p squared over 25 minus 9p squared over 25. And 25 minus 19 is 16p squared over 25. And that's how I end up with this line. Jeffrey, yes, I was just about to show that the next part there. Like, you could do x minus p times x minus 4p to do that. Okay, I'm going to show you the other method as well, just because it's a shortcut method and you guys are going to probably hate me for this. But there is a different method to do this question as well. And as Jeffrey mentioned, the easier way... I know it's... I'm like, I like doing this stuff, but like, I guess you can kind of call it the easier way. Now remember, the equation was this. 3x squared minus px. Was it minus px? Yeah. Plus 2 equals to 0. The other way you could do this question is, it said to you one of the solutions was 4 times. Now remember, I did this yellow box back there with the x minus 1 and x minus 4. This little thing. So I showed you that 4 times the one of the solutions is the other solution, right? So if that's the case, what we could have done here is we could have done x minus 1, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of a letter here. 1s, for example. Oh, you stupid thing. All right, so I'm going to call it 1s, just a s, so solution 1. And then the second one is 4 times solution 1. So I'm just going to call it s. All right? Now, the reason I did this was because I know the solutions are, one of the solution is 4 times the other. So because this quadratic at the top there, the quadratic at the top can be written like this. I could write this quadratic, which is 3x squared minus px plus 2 equals to 0. If I divide everything by 3, then what's going to happen is I end up with x squared minus px over 3 plus 2 over 3 equals to 0. Now, remember how I said that the solution is 4 times that? So I could actually say, if I expand these two brackets, then this should equal to this thing here. That's the idea behind it. So then you can do x squared minus 4sx minus sx plus 4s squared equals to x squared minus px over 3 plus 2 over 3. Now, if you look at it, your coefficient, like your constant, is 4s squared. So that's 2 over 3. Like I said to you, you probably going to hate me, but you know what? Let's just do this. So then I can say 4s squared is equal to 2 over 3. And if 4s squared is equal to 2 over 3, s squared is equal to, what are we going to get? 2 over 3 times 4. And then s squared is equal to 2 over 12. S is equal to square root of 2 over 12. The point of everything, dividing everything by 3, Doc, is because in this formula here, my coefficient of x squared is actually 1. So that's why I wanted to divide it by 3. I'll come back. Give me 1 second. I'm running out of battery as well. This is the worst stuff. This is definitely the last question, Walsh. I know this has been a long question, but it covers so many concepts. It's actually quite good. Okay, now we figured out what S is, right? Now the last bit is this. We want to figure out what P is. So if you look at it, the P part of it, negative P over 3x is equal to negative 5 sx. So this one we write it like this. Negative 5 sx equals negative px over 3. Now because there's x on both sides, they cancel out each other. We get negative 5 times s equals negative p over 3. Cross multiply. We get negative 5 times 3 times s is negative p. Forget about the p. You get 15, not forget about the p, forget about the negative sign. You get p is equal to 15s. Now remember, s is plus or minus there. So then p is equal to 15 times s. P is equal to 15 times 2 over 12. But then remember, it's got a plus or minus sign in the front. So if I was to do this, if I was to go 15 multiplied by square root of 2 over 12, I get the same answer. So P is equal to plus or minus 6.123. So this is another way of doing it. So I'm sorry, I know that I've done so much kind of working here. I'm going to write this up again, 25, 26, 27, 28. All right. Question time. I thought you divided the 2/3 by 4. Yes, I did divide the 2/3 by 4, Alex. Then 2/3, that'll become 3 times 4, which is 12. Shaji, yeah, it is a cheeky way, but it does work. Now, it's not 40 step question, Bob. It's just I've done two different. I think this one is 15 steps. The previous version of this answer is 25 steps. Could it? I'm trying to think, how would you use that sum and product rule? I still feel like I'll have to mess around with the toast. I can't answer on the spot, unfortunately. Now, Doc, those early ones were like there'd be merit coming up with the equation, but they'll give you a context question, and then you've got to answer the context question, and that's where you will end up getting excellence questions. Inequalities, they just equal sign. The only time you need to worry about inequality is when you do. Oh, actually, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about discriminants. There's a bunch of tutorials, my old ones, which cover inequalities quite a bit. That's it. We're done, Jax, after we find the p-value, because the question did ask, what is the p-value? What is the p-value that gives you 4 times the other root? And we've done that. In line 34, why is x disappeared? Juanvi, because if I take the x to the other side, if I take this x to the other side, it'll become divided by x, and then they'll cancel out each other. Yeah, can you explain line 16 where you get the 5? Line 16, oh, the 5? That's because this is a 1. So this 1 plus 4 equals 5. Doc, I didn't show the second method is because I like I said to you, like I am I think of the long way because I'm comfortable using it, but then Finn did send me the alternative method and I had a look. Oh yeah, that's another way of doing it as well. I think that's the fun part about maths, is that you do get to find different methods. Salted, yeah, you could use x. I'm trying to think. Hold on. Theoretically, you can do x plus s and x plus 4s. I don't see why that would cause any grief. Because then s is a plus or minus. I think it should still work, man. I get a feeling it should work. Yeah, all the level 2s, just to give you a bit of a heads up, I think due to popular demands, we will be doing this every night after Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 3 nights. Monday, we will not be doing a live stream because Monday just gets too crazy to do a live stream on before the day before exam. But we will do 3 Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and get some coffee, and yeah, we'll do some late nighters. Nah, the newer papers at here generally tend to be a little bit more tricky. In line 31, why is 4 multiplied instead of divided? It actually, no, Alex, it is divided, but because it's actually in the denominator, there's a 3 in the denominator as well. That's why I've got to go 3 times 4. I'm not doing 2 times 4 in the numerator, because if you think about it, the 4 is getting divided here because there's a divide line right there. But there's also a 3 in the denominator. That's why you got to go 3 times 4. David, it's usually 1 hour per paper. If you do probability, calculus, and algebra, then you get 3 hours. If you're doing just algebra, it's 3 hours. If you do just probability, you'll get 3 hours. It doesn't matter how many papers you do, you would get maximum 3 hours. What's happening in line 30? Line 30 is basically the yellow part. So I'm just showing that the 2 yellow parts are equal to each other. And then the line 34 is I'm showing the 2 blue parts are equal to each other. Well, I guess for some people it's not fun, yeah, but you know, I'm sitting here doing it because it's fun. I will see if you guys. Okay, look. Let me ask you this question: on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, do you guys want to do some like? I've got this old like algebra papers. They're like they're tough. They're like old mock exams. I need to find the archives to see where it is. But I'm sure those questions are quite horrible. But then they make you think so differently, and it's quite handy to do it just before the exam time. Vivi, we probably will do some achieved questions from that, but I think the paper itself, let me just have a look at the paper. I have it somewhere stored in my folders, so just give me 1 second. Let me just have a look where I have it. Where would I put it? Was it D drive or E drive? Cohere. If you've heard of the paper, it's called Cohere papers, which is, I just need to find it where it is. Here we go. Whew. 1031, 2014, 028. Come on, where is this? This is weird. I have all the level 3 and level 1 questions. I have complex like I have all algebra and stuff. But where is... (91577). Yeah, Friday to Sunday we'll just do level algebra. Let me go look for algebra then. Oh man, I don't know where I've put it. All right, let me just have one more search. I've left a couple of places. Yeah, folks, look, that's us for today. I'm just kind of trying to find the old exam papers. I don't know where I put it, but I have a feeling I left it somewhere, but I just need to know where. This is the problem. I have like six folders and everything. So exam level 2 parallel papers. Damn it. That's the old ones. Oh, come on. Yes, okay. I do have it. I just found it. Hold on. So, this is... How far did we go back? Till 2016. Yeah, so this is I'll show you guys a preview of the question that's coming on. Where is it? Full cam. No, that's not gonna work. Oh, did my camera die? What happened, camera? All right, that's fine. I think my camera just died on me. Let me try refresh. Nope. Yeah, I just figured. Sorry. I'll show you guys what the papers look like at least. I'll need to reload the Cohere level 2 algebra. Here we go. So we are looking at questions like this. See, this one's not too bad. Yeah, you get these weird questions here and there. And I think also this is, oh, look at that question. That's a messed up question there. Now, unfortunately, I can't send the link, guys, because these ones are like slightly different papers. So yeah, these are the old Cohere papers, and I was given permission to use them, but I can't actually spread them out. That's the problem. Yeah, there you go. There's some really good questions there. So we can do that. Oh, here's another parabola question. Look at that. Double parabola question. That's a good one. So you actually kind of figure out two parabolas and put them equal to each other to figure it out. Yeah, so this paper has some crazy questions. So we can definitely do it. We'll do that on Friday and Saturday night. We'll do a couple of those papers. Camera's not done. All right, guys, look, that's me done. I'm gonna have to try and figure out what's happening with my camera. I'll come back in like 2 minutes to see if it works. I did see it kind of crashed. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Logi, none of my cameras are working. Wow, oh, that's great. Nah, no worries. Catch you later. I just gotta fix everything before I call it. Zach, I wish I knew what you were doing in the sense of like what your school was doing, and because I don't, it makes it really hard, man. Yeah, for the Friday Saturday one, I'll we can do a couple of long ones. Hang on, I'm just gonna go back and fix my stupid camera. What happened to it? Just completely crashed. It's times I need a new computer. Do we have... What? Why is my camera not working? Yeah. Okay, so I think I've lost my camera somewhere. Hang on, I think I know why. Let's try refreshing this now. Oh wow, camera's completely gone. I don't even know where my camera is. All right, guys, I'm gonna go figure this out. Yeah, take care. But I'll have to figure it out first. That there is. Huh? Yeah, no idea. Is this one working? Where's the physics? That's Mr. Weebly, man. Tomorrow, Hope, I think we're at 8. As always, 8. Oh, man, this sucks. want to go buy another camera. Ah. Oh, that's not working. Hey guys, look, take care team. I'm gonna have to go fix this, so I'll catch you guys tomorrow, alright? And for the level 2s, I'll see you on Friday, long session. Catch you later. I'll figure out where everything is now. No worries, you're welcome team. Stream will stop, yep. And